to another episode of the Darwin League podcast. This is your commish. This episode is going to be fairly short, real casual, guys. I have no guests this week. More guests are coming onto the podcast. Don't you guys worry. I sit here in my kitchen sipping on some Bacardi limited edition Coquito. I'm not a big hard liquor drinker. You know, I'm a social Henny drinker, but at home I like myself some Coquito, some Irish cream, some eggnog. Also, I'm not a big beer guy, but I have my set of beers: Blue Moon, Modelo Negra, and Prestige. Those are my tops. But let's get into it. So let's start off with the fucking high man of the week. He is on a roll, 11-0. The snowman himself. The champ is here. Give it up for Bankhead Trap Stars with another great week. I was fucking livid. But I don't think there was much I could do. I think I'm looking at these scores here now for week 4. I think even with even if I started the Saints D, which is the only thing I would have switched up, I would have still lost, right? Because the Saints D would have gave me an extra just 3 points. That's it. I liked my lineup. Jamar Chase really hurt me there. Even just an extra 10 to 8 points from Jamar Chase would have been a touchdown, I think. A catch and a touchdown would have been perfect. I probably would have tied. But give it up for Bank. It looks like his trades are working for him. But who did he trade for? Jalen Hurts, right? So Jalen Hurts gave him 22 points this week. Let's see what Killer Bees got from Patrick Mahomes, 34. So the trade is not where I don't get it. I don't think this is not the same trade he got Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce gave him 24 points. So give it up for Bank. One would say he is bank rolling. No? Okay. Whatever. So let's move on. So I came in second with top points this week at 194, only facing Bank to my demise. I did defeat Killer Bees, but the chat was heavy with Dago talk. I think I'm saying it right. He did tell me how to pronounce it. Now, please note, I did put him in 6th overall draft, and part of it is because of Barkley and McCaffrey, because of injury concerns, especially McCaffrey. But both of them have been. I usually don't put in injury concerns, but come on, it's Barkley and McCaffrey. They're known for injuries, so I am not gonna go back on my word. I still think my rankings were fine for the draft rankings. And I did have him finishing in 3rd overall, because we also know that draft rankings don't always end up how it actually ends up at the end of the year. All right, so let's go around the league, see how people did. Surprise of this week, which was I think surprise of last week too. Let's give it up for Dark McGuire, 172 points. I thought he was rolling, going to be the high man this week, but he's still. I think was he on a bye this week too? I feel a lot of people were on a bye this week. Yeah, so he faced Dream, and he had the unfortunate dealings with Bankhead, People's Champ. But he did drop a solid 172 points. And that is behind Devontae Smith only gave him 4 points. And Geno Smith dropped 48. I swear Geno Smith is, what is he, a top 5 QB right now? QB rank. What is his QB rank? 15th. I'm just checking on there. Kirk Cousins gave him 20. So that Geno Smith was a nice pickup because I know in the beginning of the year, Geno Smith was on the waiver wire. We were debating between him and Drew Lock, but he won it. And the number one proponent, the number one person against the four QB. So he does have four QBs. He does have Jones, Daniel Jones, and he also has Tannehill on the bench. So Dream, I know you're in QB trouble. I think you're in everything trouble. Holler at Dart. He may have a trade available for you, but his running backs, Derrick Henry gave him 30 points. Najee only gave him 10. I think that's going to get higher, especially because Kenny Pickett is in the game now. I don't know. I think when there's a rookie quarterback in, they do tend to heavy. I think it benefits the running back with rookie quarterback. That's just my opinion. But Devontae Smith, who dropped a buku amount of points last week, only gave him 4. It's going to be up and down. Adam Thielen was a solid 15. So he looked good this week. Who else looked good this week? So Diego dropped 181 points. And then who came in next was Killer Bees, and that's fresh off his trade with Patrick Mahomes getting him 34 points. Josh Allen getting him 31 points. So he had a good week too. But I think I don't think he was on a bye. Who'd he face? He faced Diego. He also faced myself. And it looks like he was on a bye this week. So he didn't get a win. No. He faced Situation, who gave him a win. Situation came in with 121 points with bad performance. But they won the game. Derek Carr came in with 17 points. Chris Olave, that was a nice pickup. So that's working for him. Chris Olave, rookie, gave 16 points. I bet you he was expecting more from Diggs. And we all know Tua left the game early with that injury. So I'm going to take a pause right here from talking about the week because we got to talk about what's going on in the chat right now. Listen, for those of you who are not following along in the chat, maybe you just wait till this weekly podcast come out or the weekly update comes out. This week, I had the Jets QB, Zach Wilson, in my IR spot. And he's been there all season because he started the season on the IR. It looks like he wasn't available till week 4. And I forgot. So right now we're trying to figure out what is a fair punishment for having an illegal player in your IR spot. Because the problem with CBS is CBS will only monitor IR spots for IR and PUP designation, meaning anything else, it will kick you out. Whereas we have decided that IR, PUP, out, which is O, and COVID, which is not seen as much this year, but it may come up, designations can go into IR spots. So that means I have to uncheck that button on CBS that says manage the IR spots based off IR designation. Because if I have checked that, then people who have out, CBS would make it a legal roster. So maybe I should be the one checking it more as your commish. So I'll take some fault in that too. But you guys should also be checking. I find it kind of ridiculous that we're doing this. Me personally, I know I've been in other leagues where, say, what happened with Trout and J Money. We would have just let them start those players because obviously nobody's going to start an injured player. I know J Money hit me up right after the game started. I don't even think it would have been that serious because I think, everyone still had 0 points. I don't even know who won the kickoff. It could have been Minnesota, and the freaking offense for the Saints didn't even hit the line yet. So Me personally, I don't think it's a big deal, but I know the vibe in the league, and we're fucking ruthless. So as soon as that clock hits 0, 5 minutes before that clock hits 0, hey, if you didn't get it started, you're inside. I personally, I really don't care. Me personally, if it was, if the offense didn't hit the field yet, then what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? But I don't like the fact that you're not starting your lineup. It really, I like the competitive balance. I would have liked to have J Money, and Trav TTP to get their full lineup set, because it just adds to the competitives. I don't like the one up of ha 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 ha. You didn't start your players, so I'm gonna overpower you. But it looks like we're gonna go on with a second vote. I personally thought it was a 6-6 vote, but when I look closer, it's only 6 people voted. So we're gonna go with a second vote. So talking about J Money, let's see how he did this week with Alvin Kamara in his lineup. 117 points with a big 0 from Alvin Kamara, but I don't think, Jesus Christ, TJ Hawkinson, 52 points. I don't think it would have helped anyway. Let's say he started, if he had Alvin Kamara, right? He had Jay Williams. I think he would have put Williams in for Denver in his running back spot. And then I don't think he would have went Michael Thomas. I think he said he was going to go McLaurin. So he would have lost anyway, even if you give him the 3 points. If he had put Sanders in, would he have won? No. He would have lost against Crusher anyway. I don't know who else he faced this week. He would have been Sitcho if he had put in Sanders. He would have also beat Trout. So, listen, me personally, I don't think it's a big deal if you get it in at a certain time. But it's different per league. I'm in other leagues where it's not a big deal. This league, I know how we are, cutthroat with it. So we're taking it serious. And let's give it up for the low man of the week. Yes, once again, it is Puppy Dog Pound. See, I don't think Dog Pound had a bad week this week. His team is decent. Like I said before, his team is a decent team. In other years, it would have been probably a higher ranked team. It's not that bad. I've seen worse teams in other years. So let me look at the standings right now and see where he stands, because I always like to get an idea of the Dog Pound / Sitcho standings. All right, Dog Pound 3-9, Sitcho 5-6 points wise. Dog Pound 15-27, Sitcho 14-51. What that's telling me right now? Sitcho just had the luck of the draw. He probably had. He also had more games. I think he went 3-9, 5-6. Yeah. So, and I think Sitcho just probably faced weaker teams. But we're gonna be watching that closely this whole year, as well as watching Dream. I really think Dream is gonna come out from these ashes. Knowing Dream, I do not see him. I do not see him finishing last. I could, just like he said, with that Darwin mentality, he's gonna come back. He sees still possibility for him to get into playoffs. So I don't see him. So I see him going 6 or 5. Do I see him jumping all the way to the top 3? Possible, but probably not. His team is real weak, but knowing him, he's wheeling and dealing. Like I said, Dark got some QBs for you. I'm going to take a look at your team after this, see if there's anything I'm interested in. But I don't see Dream being the bottom feeder for the whole year. All right, let's get back to this week's games. Let's get back to this week's games. So I got to get back scores. So this was a pretty low-scoring week. A couple injuries. J Money lost a running back to injury. Sad to see that happen. Dream lost a running back to injury. Patterson, he's on injured reserve, expected back week 9. So he'll be back. So In last week's recap, I had put that first line, what did I learn from this week, is not to drop players too early. I had a whole different recap set up. I changed it. But this week, I'm going to talk about that line. I just meant to delete it. I didn't delete it out that line. Listen, I dropped, I think I dropped Tyler Algier. I dropped Romeo Dubs. I dropped Tennessee wide receiver who was on LA last year. And Dark picked him up. What's his name? And I dropped, what's his name? I forgot his name. But I dropped 3 players. Well, 2 of them I kind of regret. The other one, the Tennessee wide receiver, I really didn't care. Don't drop your players too early, people. Know this for next year. Don't drop players too early. Give it to like week 3 before you drop players who you believe in. Romeo Dubs is looking good right now. And now Tyler Algier has an opportunity, so I regret it just a little bit. I do like the pickups I made with Isaiah Pacheco and also the Tampa Bay running back who's backing up. He's a rookie backing up. I was about to say LeGarrette Blount, but the Tampa Bay rookie Rashad White. I do like those pickups. He gave me a nice 14. Pacheco gave me 8. How long Clyde's Edward-Helaire could hold this up? I don't know. He's surprising me. He's doing much better than I thought he would be doing. Also, Breece Hall, the rookie, is looking good. Who picked him up? Bank. So, congrats to him. But all in all, it was a low-scoring week this week. I feel a lot of people could still bounce back. It's still early in the seasons, fellas. Look at Dream. He's 2-9. He's not worried. Make trades if you have to make trades. It makes the league a little more fun. Please, when we put votes out, try and vote. It helps a lot. But know that if only 7 people vote, I'm just looking for majority. This time it just happened to be 3-3. But if it's 4-3 or 3-2, we're going to keep it moving because we can't chase everybody to vote. Free agency is open for those of you who put your fabs in. I think the number 1 person that was picked up this week was Teddy Bridgewater with the Tua injury. Guys, it's been fun so far. Best believe I'm still going to have some guests on. I'm making my list of what guests. I try to make it 2 guests per episode. It may end up having 1 guest, 1 episode, or I may have to reuse other guests. Bank and Killer Bees, they were great, so they may come back on, especially the People's Champs, being that he's rolling on with an 11-0 season. Listen, this was just a real casual episode, you know. Usually I have something written out, planned out. Now I'm just shooting off the hip. Me and my Bacardi Coquito. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of the Darwin Podcast. This has been the Week 4 recap. And I'll talk to you next week.